Well, today is the last full day of silage for 2023. We're gonna open this field with a dump wagon. Nate went down to the corner to turn around so that we could hit this field at the appropriate angle. I'm not sure if we're going to need to use dump wagons all day today, but we used them for a fair amount of the day yesterday. We had received roughly an inch of rain here over the weekend, and the coupler didn't go together. So we got a little bit of rain over the weekend. It was a little muddy where we were yesterday. It wasn't bad. We probably could have got away with, I guess we're in and out in between those lines. The one is moving a little bit. I can see that in the camera. And we're going to try to hit the dump wagon without getting any corn in the road. So I sat there for a minute, forgot to hit my field, get that dialed in on the display. We're all sorts of screwed up. You'd think I would have learned that by now. So that's dialed in, that's dialed in. Alright, now we're ready to go. This was planted on the 5th of June. Some corn that we chopped yesterday was planted on the 18th of June. And this is a 95-day variety of Brevant BMR. We had hay here. We took the first cut in hay off in June. And Jared put a little manure on this, and Sarah dissed it, and I planted it. So we're keeping the corn in the wagon. Got off to a slow start here. Yeah, I'm looking at my moisture readings, which I'm coming up with 70. No, that was wrong. That was wrong. I see a 73 roll across the monitor. I'm down to 64, 65%. So the one pain in the ass about opening up on a dump wagon is you have to blow it a little farther, and it's a smaller hole to hit. So you want to be right on her. Got a little bit of a breeze blowing here today, and yeah, my squelch is all screwed up here. I gotta there we go. Let's try that. Adjust the squelch a little bit. So we'll keep you posted as the day goes on. I need to count up my days to see how many days we have chopped so far this year. We haven't really had to push too hard. The corn really hasn't pressured us too much to work all that fast at it. We actually were forced to go slow at it because we were waiting for some of this corn to mature. In other words, it was a little green, a little too green for us. We have seen where these past couple of rainstorms have kind of sped the corn up a little bit. In other words, it pushes it along in its growth cycle, and it will actually fill out and reach its final life expectancy, I guess you would call it that. Yeah, we're hovering right around 65.4% moisture, so we are perfect. I know the sun is probably right in you guys' eyes, so maybe we'll push you this way. We're just going ever so slowly here, just so that we don't make a mess all over the place. This is a short season corn, and it is a short variety too, but it is yielding pretty well. Actually, those yield numbers are unbelievable for the height of this corn. But corn, the determining factor in the amount of tons that you're going to get per acre is not how tall the corn is. It's all with how big, how large the diameter of that stalk is. They're actually breeding some of these varieties now to not grow as tall. It develops a stronger plant if the plant isn't so tall. They have to worry about the wind blowing it over, or just the heftness of the tall stalk taking that stalk over. But we're hovering around, believe it or not, 25 tons to the acre. We can get about 12 ton, not quite 14 ton, I would say about 12 ton on this dump wagon, if we round it up quite well. And we are just about full on the dump wagon, and we are at a half an acre right now. So we're going to radio to Nathan that he is full. Yeah, you're just about full, Nate. I'm going to stop. He has stopped. We'll let that pipe clean out. I don't see any other options here for trucks or anything. So we'll turn you guys around, and you can see he's got pretty good sized load on there.
You want a truck in there or no?
There's a bunch of light leaves on top of his cab. Yeah, I think we can get you in here, Mike. Nate should be able to hear me, and you should be able to sneak around him. So we've got one of our truck drivers has entered the field, and I'm thinking that we can get him in here. It would be a lot better to open up onto him than the dump wagon. So we're just going to keep plugging away here, and we'll see what the day gives us for whether or not we're going to be challenged with any mud. So it's been a great year so far. We've only really had 2-ish days that we've used the dump wagons, and I have only hooked on to a handful of trucks so far here this year. We got Mike coming in behind us, so we'll touch base with you a little later on here. Alright, so we have pulled out of the field that we started with. We only went once around, and it is good and dry in there. So rather than waste Nate's time with a dump wagon, I have jumped into the next field down from it. We're going to check to see what the ground conditions are like here. And if it's good, we can have Nate just park the dump wagon, and he can go back to the shop and do a few things. The tires are getting switched on a couple of the road tractors right now, getting those ready for hauling manure. We are only 2 miles away from the farm, and we don't need the tractor trailer, so we got 6 straight trucks hauling today. And the straight trucks should be able to keep up to us here. Tim is behind us now. He had about a half a load on from that other field. We loaded the dump wagon, loaded Mike, put about a half a load on him. That field's only 9 acres or something like that. So the corn is yielding pretty well. This corn here's this field that I'm in is the same variety. It does look like this has been frosted, but we have not gotten a frost yet. On this outside time around the field, we are hovering right around 62.8. Tim, you're just about loaded. The camera is not doing so hot here. Yeah, let me stop. I can't see in the camera too good. I'm gonna clean it off. You guys watch out for yourselves there. I can't see what's going on. I'm gonna clean my camera off. That's a little better. The frickin' sun just gets into it. And it is tough to be able to see out of that camera. Contrast is screwed up a little bit. And I like to be able to see it. I like to be able to see the truck traffic in behind behind me, so that I can keep an eye on everybody. Make sure there's not a truck getting ready to collide with another one. The camera's clean, but I can't really see out of it that great here right now. Just the way the sun is whacking it. It'll focus in a lot better once we get going back the other way. Cloudy days are better than sunny days, that's for sure. Now we are wet right here. We are wet, we're sliding. We are sliding. So it's probably a good thing that we don't let Nate leave here, because that's a wet little booger right there. So I've got to keep an eye on trucks, make sure they don't come in the field, because that's a little wet right there. And I think we're going to have to do this one with the dump wagon only. Got to see if we can't maybe see any trucks pulling in. Hey, if there's any trucks pulling in, hold off there. It's wet right here. I think there is a truck back there. This is where I'm going to make a little bit of a mess. Maybe. Alright, we can start to see out of the camera a little better. Going to do a corn maze here. I'm going to see if I can't maybe get past that spot in the field where we walk sideways a little bit is there.
Go ahead, come south.
So it is Alex that is in the field now. Going to try and get, oh, there's no flag. I don't know what we've got here. We're out of options. We are out of options. Full, and I think that spot that we slid into or slid past, I think that's just a limited spot in the field. Nate, you're just about loaded. We'll stop here in a second. Okay, I see these. Alright, he has stopped. Alright, Alex, that spot is a little wet right there. Just hammer through it. I think it's alright past that. And then come up around to the back of the chopper here. That spot was right there. So she'll hammer through that. She's coming around sideways. All right, she's made it past. All right, now I need to get on the radio. Hey Nate, Alex is, okay, you're out of the way. All right, so Nate has backed down in the field. He's back down in that headland. Alex is coming around now. Freightliners, although they are the same year and the same model, they do have different front ends in them. Alex's truck has a tow hook that you can stuff into the front of the bumper and it goes into the frame. You do like a little quarter turn twist and we can hook onto that one. However, Sarah's truck has a different frame in it. They're both, like I said, they're both the same model, same year, but hers is almost, Sarah's is almost set up for like a truck that would maybe have a hydraulic pump running off of the front of the engine. In that one, we really can't hook a chain on the front of the frame. We have to go around the front axle on that. What we need to do is build, we actually need to build bumpers for both of them. We need to put a skid plate that goes down in underneath the oil pan and goes back clear to about the transmission area, because there's hydraulic cooler lines that come off of the transmission going up into the transmission cooler that rub on corn stalks from time to time. So at any rate, if Alex gets stuck here, we can actually hook onto the front of her a lot easier than we can Sarah's truck. However, Sarah's truck has better tires on it. So I think this spot in the field was just that one little spot that we had trouble. Well, we didn't have trouble in it, but we kind of lost traction and got sideways in it a little bit. So we're just about to the end here, and I would imagine probably a couple of the other trucks went back to the other field. They're probably driving around that field looking for us. They can't hear nothing on the radio. All right. You aren't loaded, but take what you got, or maybe actually go up into that other field. Nate, go up in there with her, dump on what you can fit onto her, Nate. Mike, after them guys clear out of the way, come down into this lower field. Alright, so we got one truck over there lost. He doesn't understand what we're doing, can't see the chopper. So Nate's going to dump part of his load onto Alex. That'll free up the dump wagon. That'll also give Alex enough of a load to make it worthwhile to make the trip all the way home. You can see our silo right from here. So this is the greasy spot. We've got one here, and then there's this one up here. So I'm going to try to pick up these stalks, and then we're going to have to tell Mike a few times to go ahead and get after it coming through here. We picked up them stalks. All right, Mike, right just behind the chopper. It's real wet, so you got to grab a gear or two and get walking through that. Sarah or Alex made it. You should be able to make it too.
Okay.
All right, we'll see if he can maneuver through that spot. Yeah, he maneuvered it, so he did all right. He did all right. All right, so that little skipper I made, I have that loaded in the corn head. Go ahead and spit that right onto Michael there. Then we'll start back in on continuing our outside time around this field. We're in a few rows just so that we can have some options to wiggle. Wiggle here, wiggle there. This field on a wet year can be a little bit of a challenge, but being that it has been as dry as it's been this year, it should be pretty good. Last year, the field in between this one and the upper one was the first field that we chopped. It was one of the fields that we wanted to put wheat on. And we had a little bit of a time in there. We had 2 trucks stuck side by side. The second truck seeing what the first truck went through. And he did a tiptoe effect to get by him. Didn't give himself any momentum. Didn't give himself any time to lock in his differential. And we had 2 trucks stuck right side beside. It was going to, it started to make me realize that last year was going to be a long year. And we dealt with that on the very first day. So we're cruising along the bottom of this strip. I am over, I don't know how many rows because I don't count. 2 combine head widths anyway. And we have Sarah coming up in behind Michael. And then we've got Timothy behind Sarah. So I think we can chop these without the dump wagon. I only got to get a little farther and then we should be able to figure out where we can go and where we can't go here. Pretty good yield for a short season. We're climbing up over 24 tons. Loaded, Mike. on the upper side of this field, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to have Sarah full by the time we get to that greasy spot. Rather than be a goofball, what we're going to do is we're going to let her bail out. You gotta watch it. Where is that spot that's wet, Sarah?
We're getting close to that.
Alright, hold up here. Let's not take the trucks through it next to the chopper. We don't want to have a collision. Let's get the trucks out of the way and we'll chop onto the dump wagon until we get past it. And then we can top you guys off. I'm not sure if it's wet down in below it, so depending on how my tracks are through this, you'll be able to judge whether or not it's better to go in the spot I'm driving in. I'm thinking that wet hole or that greasy spot is, I don't know, did I go by it? I just went by it. No, it's up here. It's up here. Let's see what it feels like here. Nate is getting into it right now. Feels like I'm on firm ground. Yeah, I'm on firm ground. So let's see how they do coming through it. Yeah, I think if you hug the corn, you'll be all right, Sarah. Looks like Sarah walked right through that with ease. Why don't we switch out, Nate? Yeah. Let's see. Well, hold up a minute. Can you back around me, or is that too goofy? Nah, back with it. You just continue around straight. Next truck that pulls in, if they get here before I get Tim loaded, just dump onto them and come back to me. I don't know where, if we're going to find any more greasy spots in here, that you could park that dump wagon and head back and help them guys in the shop do a few things.
You ever dug out that hole that's like a little above where you cut across here?
Oh, you think there's another one here, Tim?
There used to be. I don't know if we did some tile work on it after, you know, back when it was hay. One's like, a couple hundred yards down from here, you know, kind of in the middle there.
Yeah, I think he fixed it halfway through hay or something last year.
Okay, I remember bouncing over those guts, you know.
We got opened up all the way around this. What was that headland like, Dink, where you're going up through now? Is that greasy?
The corner. I got a little trouble getting out of there, but he got out. through there, so I just fired off the gun. Mike got over to the right, and that was kind of great thing.
Taking there, Nate.
Yeah, it's not full. I'll put it on you, and then you can go get topped off.
All right, I think we're going to.
I just pull ahead. We'll get up next to you.
I think we're going to be all right. It's going to be hit and miss with the dump wagons here and there, but we'll try to get through the day. It looks like Sarah's gotten herself in a little trouble up on this end here. But all we got to do is get around this a couple more times and we'll be all right. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like she's leaning a little bit too there. She's chewing. Back up farther, Sarah, and just run some corn over if you have to get out of them ruts. What her problem is 3 or 4 trucks have driven through that already, and it's rutted it, and she can't turn. Looks like the front end's coming this way. She's gone farther than...
Going back with this loader, you want to top me off?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I'll top you off. Alright. Alright, I hope the camera saved that clip, but that's the corner that we went through, and the camera's getting hot and it kicked off. So, we better put the camera down. Mud here. This field is known to be a wet field anyways, and we are now using both dump wagons trying to get this one side of this field off. We have Andrew out of school now, and he's running this dump wagon. Davey's running the other one. We started the day with Nathan running the one. We got those 2 fields started, realized we could get away without the dump wagon. Once we got into this field here, we got into a couple of pickles. Then we realized that we're going to have to chop this side with the dump wagons. So we're just going back and forth, loading them quickly, having them jog them to the trucks, which are over here on dry ground, at a spot where we were able to chop direct here earlier. So we've got this headland zipped off. Actually, we got one more pass on it, but we'll go to the end, come back through. And what we'll do is we'll just go back and forth. We'll just swing the pipe, chop down through on the right side, chop back through on the left. Davey, and I'll just swing my pipe and we'll go right back through this side. We do do have to make one more cut on this south headland.
Okay.
Through to the end, double click 3, swings the pipe automatically to my left side. He's over on my left side. Now we'll just go right down through here. We'll just continue to go back and forth. Some soft spots there. Let Andrew come in here. Clip this end off, Andrew, and we'll turn to our right. Well, that'll give you an idea of what we've got going on at the current moment. It's not bad. We're using dump wagons, but it's not horrible. I've seen it a lot worse than this, to the point where you can't even get trucks in the field, and you have to deal with opening everything up on the dump wagons, and then having just a little spot that you can back the trucks in off the road. And the dump wagons are waiting to dump because the trucks are, well, they're having to travel all the way to the driveway. At least the trucks can get as close as they can to us. This is about 30 acres in this field, and it's got an access point.
Oh, look at it. It's just a really long bowl. It's maxed out.
One on the west side and the south end. We've got 2 dump wagons, but it really takes about 4 to keep up to the chopper. Maybe Maybe you could do it in 3. Really, these guys really have to hump, even with the trucks staying close to us. 2 guys with 2 dump wagons really have to hump along to keep up to the chopper. In a perfect world, having 4 or 5 dump wagons would be ideal. We've got some skippers here and there from where we came off of the row, sliding in the mud. Don't want to make contact with the tractor on the dump wagon. Dump wagon coming in behind us, and we'll just keep going back and forth here. Oh, they've got Alex stuck over there. Davey's pulling her out right now with the dump wagon. So it is sticky up here. What's that?
We're gonna stay here so I can put this on and...
Yeah, Mike, hang out. Andrew will dump this one on you. It's just gonna be a small one.
Want me to keep running dump wagon or can I run truck 8?
We'll see what them other fields turn into. All right, so we've got this wet little bugger done, and now we've got 4 or 5 more fields going on yonder. We're hoping that those aren't wet like the west side of this one was. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So well, let's go on up to that upper field there, and we'll see what that turns into. Yeah. Well, we are actually into the following day now. We screwed around with dump wagons and whatever yesterday and lost a little bit of time. And we didn't get done. So today is October 25th. It's actually Alex's birthday today. So we're using 6 trucks. We are right around 2 miles away from the farm. We got Route 20 is right there. It's on the other end of this field to our right. And then we can't quite see the silos, our silos from here. But we are a half a mile north of Route 20, and right now we are only about another half a mile or better on the south end of it. So we have had a good run this season. Everything has worked out really well. We've got a truck pulling on in here, and we'll keep her moving, but we didn't end up going into the field that we had talked about when we got done with that one field that we were using both dump wagons on. We went into the furthest field on a side hill that's on this particular farm here, and we got that done using both dump wagons. So it's a little sticky in here, but we're managing. We're getting along without the dump wagons right now, and we might need Andrew again before the day is done, once he gets out of school. So we'll keep her going here. Well, this field here has a little bit of a challenge. We have been using the dump wagon here and there, going around little wet spots. We just walked out of one spot there and tried to bring the truck in, and Tim ended up sinking. So they're pulling that one out with a dump wagon. We're loading Alex here right now. I wave to Alex. She's 25 years old today. So, yeah, we'll have to bail out up here. Alright, we'll have to go out around this spot, Alex. And if you go way over to the right, hug the hedgerow, and then we'll start going down through that other side. So they are getting hooked on Timothy, and I don't know if I'm gonna wait. Maybe I'll wait for them to get out. Yeah, there they go. Alex, just hang tight on that other side. I'm gonna wait for the dump wagon here so we can get this little chunk out, and then I'll be over to you. Hug the hedgerow. Alright, so they've got Timothy pulled out. We've got a wet hole right in this corner, and it's wet on that old headland there. If they stay next to the hedgerow and zip up through, it's usually pretty good. So we've got maybe 3 more passes, and then we'll be out of that one hole right there. For some time when I was a kid, some of this we didn't even farm because it was so wet. But we have tiled it, and it's not bad. It's manageable. So they've got Timothy out. Davey has been dumping onto himself. And yeah. So we'll show you what this looks like up in front of us here. Soft, got some little water in it. Make sure we don't fly
Jump there on the far side of this bunker.
into the tractor with the head. Well, you can see right to our left or right to our right, we have made a few tracks. Getting better. The last pass was pretty soft. Alright, so right on this headland, about 3 passes over from the hedgerow, Tim had a little problem. He was able to work out of that. He's fighting that mud. That 8360 needs tires. But we're getting over into the drier stuff. You can see over on the right hand side of that tractor, we have stepped through some mud there, and we're getting into some drier grounds. We just got to work around some of these wet holes a little bit. The next strip over, oh, Davey's fighting her a little bit there. All 8 wheels are spinning on the tractor there for a hot minute. Alright. So let that truck slide on in here. You can slide in, take that to your truck and dump it, Davey. Yeah.
Do you want me to take the truck back and dump it or stay?
Yeah, you can take it back and dump it and then come right to me. We'll skip over a couple of spots here.
Okay.
All right. I guess Alex isn't going to wave at all. All right, we'll keep plugging away here. Well, this is it. We are pulling into the last field that we are going to chop for 2023. We've got Tim in behind us. Father and Davey are on deck. I don't know who's going to pull in number 2, but we have them 2 waiting here on deck. So we're just getting cut into the field. Just getting the truck around, squared up behind us, straight-wise. Now we're just going to start walking down through the field. This is only about 7 or 8 acres. And it almost looks as though this corn was frosted, but we did not get a frost yet. So, this corn looks drier than it actually is. The last field that we did averaged 63%. We've got 6 62 coming across here right now. So everything has gone exceptionally well this year. I mean, really well. We had a few breakdowns, but they really weren't breakdowns. They were wear and tear issues. We had some tires that we had to replace on Sarah's truck because they were wore out. We had a turbo that went on the C5 and a radiator that went on Sarah's truck. Other than that, we have had an excellent year with no breakdowns, none whatsoever, other than replacing a couple of knives on the head, wear and tear issues again. This field is not really that big. Might get a little wet down towards the bottom end or the back side of it, right along by the woods, but we should be in good shape. We did have some spots to deal with on this farm. This is the Baylor farm, which is, it's just a couple miles away from home here. The first field that we did on this farm yesterday was wet. We used the dump wagon on the west half a bit, and then the field that's in behind the old barn up here. Then you're just about loaded. Then we'll move over to the right a little bit. He might be starting to slide a little. Not sure. Got Davey in behind him. Now we have been doing this little procedure for the better part of the year, just switching the pipe over. I don't really like doing that, but it keeps the ball rolling. You spill corn on the ground. Now the big time operators, they do that all the time. We're just learning here. We're learning a few things. We're learning. So we've got, looks like my father in behind Davey with Sarah's truck. Sarah's running a spreader today. And we've got 3 guys hauling manure to her. Jared, Sarge, and Jason. So it looks like we're going to be able to get finished up here before it gets dark. We didn't start in until afternoon time today. We had some other projects that we were working on. I actually put a set of quarter fenders on the Western Star this morning. We had to move some junk out of the way so we could have some excavation done. We moved a pile of stuff here when we poured that corn pad, and that was all in the way of the next project that is going on here now. They ended up putting road tires back on the C5, so they're hauling manure with that. The Western Star, which got a new set of road tires yesterday, and they are hauling with Jared's green Mack. Jared's Mack had a set of them skid steer tires on it, and he ended up taking them off, and he's got a set of trash hauler treads on there right now. Davey, you're just about loaded. So he's not going to have quite a full load on, but we're coming into a corner up here, and we got truck enough right on in here, so we might as well just get him switched out. Bang. Again, corn goes on the ground. Go back back over into the corn because we're coming up into a spot that could possibly be a little sticky. And he is running, we're running just regular road tires on that truck 8. And we don't want to stick it. If we can prevent it, we'll keep it from going into the mud here. So we're turning on this headland here. Keep my snouts out of the hedge.
Watch that lower side of that, there's a little bit of a dip there.
Oh, what do we got? I thought we had my father here. I don't know who my brother was talking to there. Yeah, I'm out of the truck. I'm watching in front of me, not watching behind me. So this is where it can get a little sticky here, right along by the woods. Back into the truck. Right up alongside the woods. I have a tendency to watch behind me more than I watch in front of me. We've got to watch that we don't have any limbs down. We were talking about how we haven't had any breakdowns this year. We need to keep it that way, definitely. Gonna leave that short row of corn in the woods there a little bit. Gonna come back over. Getting out of the woods. Grab the stick there, you can just barely hear it. Alright, we're out of that problem area where there could be a potential tree branch down or something. So we're going to have him stay to his left. We should do the switch out on the left rather than the right. Drop off here. Over to your left. He's not hearing me. Hey, move over to your left so you don't step off the edge of the field there. Oh, can't hear the radio. Move over to your left. We'll switch on the right side of you so you don't go off the edge of the field. Alright.
The hell's he getting a BJ in there?
He gets distracted slightly when he gets a rider. Alright, there we go. Switched over on the mic. There. Alright, so we will touch base with you guys when we get done. Hopefully we didn't jinx ourselves by talking about how we haven't had any breakdowns. So this will take us a little bit of a whirl to do, and we'll be done on it here. Be all tucked inside the shop before dark. So, yeah. Field down there is the one that we did had yesterday, and we had to use the dump wagon on the west half. All right. Join up with you a little later on here. Well, this is gonna do it. This is the last pass down across the field. We've got 7 rows coming in, 2, 4, 6, 7, sometimes 8, sometimes 6. But that's what you have on these narrower fields. You have a situation where it doesn't quite work out for you. So we are getting done before it gets to be dark here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it all on Timothy, but Michael is on his way up here. And we've got a little less than half of an empty box to fill on Timothy. So we'll get things situated, cover the bunk tomorrow, and everything should be good. Like, we've got a couple of days of good weather yet. That will allow us to not have any crappy weather roll in on us while we're trying to cover the bunk. We've covered the bunk in snow before. We've covered it in the rain. Just hopefully we don't get too much wind here tomorrow. But we do have all cut tires to use on the bunk. I shouldn't say all cut tires. I don't know if we're going to be able to, I don't know if we're going to have enough tires to cover it with, but we ended up getting 3 tractor trailer loads of tires here this fall, and we're hoping that we can stretch it out and get
closer to the pile, Bill. I can't fit the tractor back there.
Hopefully we can get a majority of that bunk. There's actually 3 bunks together. There's 2 big ones and then a narrower bunk that we'll have for next year's feed out or carryover, if you will. So it looks like Michael's gonna get the last little bit. Yeah, I could have crammed some more on Tim, but what's the sense of having it all fall off of, or having it fall off of all 4 corners of the box when you got another empty truck rolling on in there? So that is gonna do it for corn for 2023. Got about 100 yards left of this field, and this has been an excellent year. When we get back to the barn, we'll reveal how many days we spent in the chopper chopping corn this year compared to how many days we spent here last year. I did count them up quickly here a little while ago. I think we spent
back up there, Bill.
I think we spent 34 days chopping this year. We started on the 18th of September, and today is the 25th of October. So just like that, we have just run the last little bit of corn through the chopper. So we'll meet up with you when we get back to the shop. We'll count up how many days we chopped last year. We actually have a little bit in this corner that we'll get when we made our first time around. And we'll join up with you when we get back to the shop. Alrighty, so we are back to the hay barn here. Usually I'm doing this in the dark, kind of a treat tonight to be able to do this in the daylight. But we're taking a couple of extra steps here. Sometimes I take the head off, but I have not taken the head off in quite a while to blow the machine off. When I chop hay, I take the hay head off just because it's easier to get in and around the cutter head. However, it has been a little bit of a whirl. since I have had the door open. It's been a good 10 days or so, so we've got this opened up. There's a lot of crap that gets built up in here. We're gonna go ahead and blow the whole machine off so that we can get this ready to maybe do some hay. Remember we talked about maybe doing some hay? Well, we're thinking about doing a little bit of fourth cutting. We don't know where we're gonna put it. We've got a little bit of room in that bunk there. We've got a little bit of room in this one. And then a little bit of room in this one over here. We haven't decided where we're gonna put it. So we have to get that figured out. We do have conventional silage coming out of that bunk from last year. BMR out of that one. And then this bunk here has first cotton in it. Conventional silage here. So they are fixing things up a little bit as far as getting things finally packed and pushed up. Got 2 blade tractors going at it here. They need to get this ramp pushed back a little bit because we have a spot where the water runs off the concrete and it goes right that way. This bunk here, that we've got BMR from that wall all the way over to there. We've got BMR in this bunk here, and obviously it's BMR, I just said that. But this bunk here, we're saving this for carryover for next year. In other words, when we go to start chopping corn next year, we'll have this bunk here to feed while we're chopping. So they are just putting the finishing touches on the bunk. We need to get a couple more tractors up here, but we've got a couple of guys moving manure still. Looks like they've switched operators here. Got Fitzy in that articulator. We got Jacob and Christian on the packing tractors. There's Mr. Nathan. All right, I better get to working on this chopper. But they'll have to spend another hour here tonight packing, and then we'll have to start packing and working on it here in the morning. But the corn was coming back here so fast today that they couldn't keep up with pushing up with these 2 articulators. We had 6 trucks running today on a 2-mile haul, and the trucks weren't even keeping up to the chopper.